Is it your dream to live in Japan and learn Japanese? Well, if it is, I've got an answer for you. So if you're looking to live in Japan on a long-term basis, longer than the 90-day visa, tourist visa typically allows, you do have a few different options. I personally believe that getting a student visa is one of the easiest options for a number of different reasons. And you might be saying, well, Desmond, I don't speak Japanese. No problem. I highly recommend that you go to a language school. You can get a student visa to go to a language school, which is one of the easiest paths into Japan. And you might be saying, well, Desmond, there's a bunch of language schools. Which one do I go to? Well, today I'm going to talk about KCP, the language school that I went to, and talk about the experiences that I had there. And honestly, my Japanese improved a ton. I did study Japanese before I got to KCP, but I know people who've literally gone from no Japanese to working full-time jobs in Japan. And I just want to talk about how, the experience changed my life and how I think it could potentially change yours. My name is Desmon Hickson, and I attended KCP from, spring of 2017 all the way up until winter of 2017. I currently own my own digital marketing agency and Japanese to English translation agency. So I'm gonna kick some knowledge, like I said, about the school that I attended, KCP, and why I think you should too. Well, for starters, KCP is the only language school that has a US-based office where you can actually get support before you go. So most language schools are only based in Japan, and so you'll be reaching out and contacting somebody in Japan, and it's just different. KCP kind of has been around for a while and has that extra support there. Also, I do know that at KCP, I've kind of found that they care a lot about what your life post the school gonna look like. So what I mean by that is most people who go to KCP love Japanese and want to figure out a way to make a life using the language that they love. So most of the people that I went to school with have either A, gone on to a university, or B, gone on to work using their Japanese or at a Japanese company. For instance, one of the friends that I know who graduated from KCP works as a localization expert at Square Enix. Yes, if you're wondering, that's Square Enix, Final Fantasy Square Enix. I was busy, but I would say it was a good busy. I learned so much Japanese, and that was really what I was there for. And so, I'd say though one of my favorite parts though is what I call my KCP crew. I was able to meet friends from Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, Malaysia, the US, the UK, and just to be able to talk to so many different people with so many different perspectives and different walks of life with the singular purpose of learning and improving their Japanese so that they could achieve their goals using the language was crazy. It was crazy. It was great. It pushed me, and I think I pushed them. And even post KCP, I've been out of school now for 3 years, and I still talk to them on a regular basis. And even when I went back in 2019, I saw some of the old crew that are still there. I even got a chance to go back to KCP and had lunch with some of the teachers, and it was just cool to see that they took an interest in my life, even post being at KCP, and it just really shows how vested they are in your development. I mean, it was a blast. It was more than just work. We had a ton of fun. Like I was able to stay in a Japanese ryokan or traditional inn on a trip that we took. Fun memories. Yeah, you could look at that one. It was cool. The food was the bomb. The trip that we took to Enoshima Island, which is off of nearby Kamakura, where the giant Buddha is, and so to try like different types of ramen, like seafood ramen. That's just a clip of us walking along the street and some of the stuff you can see there. And some of the school activities. One of my favorites was sports day. If you're serious, and serious about learning Japanese, I would highly suggest going to a language school. Even somebody like me, I had studied Japanese on my own, had been back and forth to Japan over the years. And I'd say I spoke Japanese at a fairly intermediate level before getting to KCP, but I was literally barely literate. I guess 4 or 5 months if you do the math. I took the JLPT test, N2 test in July, and I was able to pass it. Before then, there was some real honest conversations about it being difficult and that being a pretty short amount of time to make that leap. but they got me there, like through extra sessions that I took, or time after asking questions to the teachers and stuff, and they really celebrated it once I was able to pass it. So that was awesome. Another thing on top of just the KCP experience was I was able to stay with the host family, a local Japanese family there in Tokyo. And I can tell you one thing, it's nothing like being able to take what you learned in the classroom and actually apply it in your everyday life, where you have to constantly use Japanese and be a part of a Japanese family. And honestly, it gave me a deeper respect and appreciation for the culture, just to see how Japanese people live their daily lives. And KCP is like all about that. They promoted that and celebrated that because they, I think, like I said before, they really want to create people who use Japanese for life. So definitely check KCP out. I can't rant and rave enough about it. It really helped me. If you have any more in-depth questions, I'd be happy to answer. But reach out to kcpinternational.com and inquire. Just ask questions, because I think you'll be, man. I can't stress enough how much it's benefited me.